Welcome back, Chelsea fans, to another London is Blue podcast, Chelsea women's match review here on YouTube. That's right, we'll do these in about 15 minutes or so as Chelsea regained Champions League matches midweek, went up to Celtic Park to take on Glasgow Celtic, and have a little homecoming for one, Erin Cuthbert, who returns to the motherland to play Celtic in, an iconic stadium, it has to be said. A little bit more on her later. We'll talk about Erin's return to the to Scotland. We'll talk about a little bit of Sonia's upcoming cheekiness for Manchester City at the weekend, and a brewing battle potentially at number 10 for Chelsea between an efficient Micah Hamano and a very creative Kat Mack, and what the future might look like there. But first, just thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I know that we're doing a little bit of a different vibe on Chelsea women's content this year, but hopefully you're finding it here on YouTube. Really appreciate it. More than anything, please go watch the Chelsea women's matches. Go watch, if you are in London this weekend, go watch Chelsea play City at Stamford Bridge. Make a raucous atmosphere, please. This team deserves so much support. And, despite some decent away support today, I think we can do even better. So if you are a steadfast fan, keep it up. Bring someone new into the fold. Really need it and appreciate it. But we're going to dive into the match details here. Look, Chelsea, admittedly, a changed 11. We'll get into the lineup here in a second. Not an easy match by any means. Celtic had a very good game plan to expose Chelsea down the flanks and, came within a couple of moments of potentially drawing this game. Celtic won, Chelsea 2 in match day 3 of 6 in the Women's Champions League group stage. Murphy Agnew with the 22nd minute strike for Celtic. Micah Hamano answers in the 28th minute. That's right, Micah Hamano, the player that I profiled on the last match review, so go watch that. And Ashley Lawrence quickly follows up in the 32nd minute. The only real blemish on the day is Aggie Beaver-Jones getting a little aggressive with 2 yellow cards, getting sent off right before the final whistle, which, in hindsight, as a young player, she'll look back and think that's probably pretty silly. But it was a huge lineup change from last time. This is kind of similar to what the men are doing, where you're playing a change lineup midweek to rest some of your key players for the weekend in a big match against City at the weekend. So I believe 8 changes made. Sajura Musovic comes in at the back line, played kind of like a 3-4-1-2 in this game with Ev Paraset, Meili Zempam, and Natalie Bjorn occupying the back 3. Ashley Lawrence and Sandy Baltimore as wingbacks, pretty dangerous. Liked what I saw there. Oriane Jean-Francois, Erin Cuthbert, and Vika Kaptein in the midfield, and then Micah Hamano and Aggie Beaver-Jones up top. Subs in this game, a lot of them. Kat Mack comes in for some really, really good minutes for Micah. Gro Wrighton comes in, Johanna Ritten-Kennerig comes in, and Lucy Bronze comes in. The only unused subs in this game are Julia Bartel, Hannah Hampton, and Katie Cox. So this was a very lean outfit that made the trip up to Glasgow. And, the team did what it needed to do. This is an average age squad of 24.8 years. And you look at really it's Sajura Musovic, Ashley Lawrence, and Erin Cuthbert as like the, and maybe Ev Paraset as like the really experienced players in this group. The rest are young players. So very young squad that made it up. The stats, I think, make this look a little less competitive than it actually was. I think Chelsea did finally get control of the game in the second half, but Chelsea had 26 shots to Celtics 3, 12 shots on target to Celtics 2. Celtics keeper did stand on her head, but a lot of those shots were very comfortable for her anyway. Chelsea had 72% of the possession, 703 passes to Celtics 281, 89% pass accuracy to Celtics 70%. 6 fouls to their 11, and of course we got the red card from Aggie in there. The one random stat is the only stat that you need to know, which is 9 of 9 for Bon Pastor to start her Chelsea career, which is absolutely outstanding. And gutting out this game. I think she even said so in the post-match press conference. She said, "I knew it would be a tough game for us because of their mentality. They showed a lot of heart. The Celtic team showed a lot of heart and played with a lot of energy. We were expecting that they were going to be really motivated. Of course, this is their, they're playing these home matches at Celtic Park, much like Chelsea's playing at Stamford Bridge. Big matches, big occasions, and the energy that they had was high. It's also a bigger pitch as well, so a little bit more room to operate. Bone Pastor does add, as a manager, I decided to rotate my squad. So sometimes it can happen that the players don't get the same chemistry together, but I wanted to have a better impression for my team. I'm really happy with the 3 points in the victory, but not really happy with the performance. We were not efficient enough tonight, which is absolutely true. The team did waste a lot of chances or put a few, not necessarily on target that could have been. This could have been a much different game if the efficiency ticked up slightly, but it was kind of an off day to be candid. She added, every game is an opportunity to learn. Tonight I learned a lot, and I will share that with my players as a team, but also as individuals. I would guess that Aggie's going to get a bit of a talking to for the red card. She said there are some positives with our squad. We're still able to rotate players and rest some. We have the 3 points in the victory, so it's a good dynamic for that. But in terms of performance, we need to do a better job in different aspects. She did not expand on the aspects, but I think there's going to be a bit of talk, especially if you're doing a lot of match review, watching or listening for this one, around the referee, who was way out of her depth today. A lot of fouls not called, ticky-tack fouls called as yellow cards, just not necessarily up for it, I didn't feel like. But Chelsea were exposed in this one. I think the last thing we have here before we get into the 3 insights for the game, Celtic understood that with their forwards and their speed, especially with Murphy Agnew, that if they played balls down the channel against Chelsea's back 3, that they were more than likely to get one-on-one matchups. They did this break 4, 5, 6 times in this game and did only score the 1, but it was there quite frequently. Tough start for Meili Zempam, who I think was in the middle of that 3, trying to control center areas when Aurélien Francois moved up into the midfield a little bit. And I think maybe positioning was a little bit off. Didn't think that Musovic was super great on the day, to be honest, but the rest of it is a relatively positive tale. So I think there is going to be some negative stuff that is taken out of this, but more positive than negative for sure. Insight number 1, Erin Cuthbert. We have to. She's not only one of our best players, but this is a really emotional game for her. Bone Pastor added about Erin, and kind of a fun, I know she didn't mean this to be funny, but it was kind of funny. She talks about Scotland in a nice way. She's really proud to be a Scottish player. I think it's really nice to have someone in Chelsea who's represented their country as much as Erin has. The way she's playing for Chelsea and the way she's performing in our squad, that is something to be proud of. Erin was kind of playing it down a little bit before the game, but you could tell with the way that she played her 45 minutes today that she really wanted this and wanted it badly. She says, as a football player, if you get a bit of a hostile reception, I think it's the best thing ever. I certainly enjoy it and I thrive upon it, which is 100% true. You can't deny it. She added that we've played in big atmospheres before and we're used to playing in big games. So, it's just about enjoying the occasion. And she also added that she loves playing 3 games a week. And, she added that being at the club, as long as she has, you have to compete on all fronts. That's something you have to accept. You have to be mentally strong, get your recovery, your sleep, everything is so important. But she's obviously looking at City when she's saying these things that, like, yeah, bring it on. So what? We have 3 games in a week. Let's go. We got to do it. And she played really well in the first half that she was in. So 46 touches, 95% pass accuracy, 1 key pass, 3 shots on target, 1 shot off target, 2 or 3 ground duels won. It was a very clear performance. Her and Vika would sometimes switch up their positioning, where Erin would get more forward into a number 10 role. Vika would drop back, and then vice versa. She was all over the place. She blazed one just over that I thought was going in, that classic. Cuthbert long shot into the upper 90, but just blazed over the bar, unfortunately. She will get more than her fair share this season, but she's playing super well. She finally looks fit again, which is great. And now it's time to kind of take that and move it forward to City, where she has to play well for us to have a chance. Insight number two. Just something I noticed, and I'm curious if you guys noticed this as well. Kind of the differences in the number 10 stroke second forward approach between the very efficient Micah Hamano and the very creative Cat Mac. Micah, super impressive again. Again, if you guys listened to the last match review I did for Liverpool, I highlighted her as a standout for that game because I thought she was just truly excellent in all phases. One shot tonight, one goal, 94% pass accuracy, 3 key passes from Micah. A pretty extraordinary night. Helped us get back in the game. What I loved is she scores the goal, grabs the ball, runs back to the center circle because we were at that point just drawing Celtic, which was kind of a weird start to the game. Looked really up for it. Catback comes on for her in the 60th minute, 59th minute, whatever it was. Brings something a little bit different, a little bit more creative flair, and you look at their stats. Catback has 2 shots on target, 2 shots off target. She had one that was super close to being a golazo. She had 1 of 1 dribble attempts, 29 touches, 87% pass accuracy, no key passes, 3 of 6 ground duels won. Micah, obviously, you heard her stats, but 2 of 5 ground duels won. So Cat actually won more in less time, more accurate passes, and more key passes. So I'm curious if this is the start of like the Cat Mac get back on the good foot and start matches train. Maybe in the next month or so, she works her way back into kind of that starting role. We've seen 10-minute, 15-minute, now 30-minute increments for her to play. And I'm curious if this is like the long game, really building her back up all the way. And whether or not you think that she will end up starting, or if Micah continues this incredibly efficient, productive, super team player sort of vibe up top, that you think that she'll maintain that spot. I don't know when Lauren's going to come back into the fold. I think that's another consideration for number 10. But right now I'm watching these two kind of see what Bone Pastor wants to do. All of this leads to number 3, which is it's all about City. This was a very good, difficult test as we walk into Chelsea's biggest test of the season to this point. Manchester City has been playing super well. This game is at the Bridge while the men are on international break. This is a super important game. Play City at the weekend, then you have Celtic at home next week as well. Bone Pastor says we're just now moving on and going to the City game exactly with the plans that we wanted to have. Wink. I think she's been preparing for both games equally this week, which is no slight to the Celtic team, but I think it's just an obvious thing for the league that Chelsea win this game. They go into a commanding position in the league, and that's a really important thing for everyone involved. This week is a special week because we have 3 games. So as a manager, it's important for me to manage some players as individuals. I have some players who didn't travel for Celtic, and these guys are likely to start. Kadisha Buchanan, Millie Bright, Shuka Nuskin, and Myra Ramirez. And they make my predicted lineup for the weekend. Hannah Hampton in goal, Ashley Lawrence, Buchanan, Bright, Baltimore as your back line. JRK, Shuka Nuskin, and Erin Cuthbert in the midfield. JRK, Hamano, and Wrighton as your attacking midfield. And then Myra Ramirez making a triumphant start, triumphant return to the lineup and starting this game against City, which is super important. Myra brings something different. I think she will be an effective counter press option, and she will also be able to run for days when we are able to turn the ball over against the City team who will equally like to run at us. So for me, anyway, this City game is a real marker. Chelsea win this game and obviously go top of the league with a game in hand and have beat Arsenal and City to start the season, that's a tough mountain to overcome for anyone else. So let's hope they get it done and really fill the bridge. Please fill the bridge. Like I said earlier, it's so important for everything that we want women's football to continue to evolve to be. Please do that. Like I mentioned, Saturday, the late game on Saturday, that's 11:30 Central U.S. time, 12:30 Eastern, and 5:30 in the UK. And then back on Wednesday next week at the Bridge against Celtic at 2:00 in the afternoon in the States. So lots going on here. Thanks to everyone who watches these match reviews. Thank you to the folks who are going to be there this weekend causing noise for this team. They really deserve it. And until next time, Chelsea fans, you know what to do. Keep the blue flag flying high.